Йоу. Ахой, чатик. Стрим должен пойти, и теперь лагать не должно. Опа. Иди ты. Раз, два. Их всего двое? Нет, их трое. Ням-ням-ням-ням-ням. Лагает? Но только же интернет должны починить были. Нет, я не хочу. Отмена! Фалбэк! Немножечко не хватает на лекарства от пневмонии. Тут вроде все. Ой. Провайдеры, которым звонили и ругались, вспоминают, видимо, добрым словом.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Как думаете, убивать этих ребят или не убивать? Они же, по идее, вернутся при первой же возможности. Ладно, пусть сидят. В конце концов, они не только на нас охотятся, они искали, убивают. Так что пусть сидят. Так, чертяка. Ой, нет, я не... Идите колотить, короче. Ты... Замаршировать меня хотел, вы видели? Пока есть крысы в этом городе, я непобедима. Ну, хватит уже. Он каждый раз так восхищается. Мне интересно, если я иду спокойно, они кидаются на меня? Они не кидаются на меня, если я не бегу? Окей, слушайте, я не знала до этого. Оказывается, можно ходить как говорится, добропорядочный гражданин.
This is no place for you, sir. Turn around, sir. I'll kill you.
Эй, ну чё, мне... Я просто живу в этой части города. Да идите вы. Стоп, еще один прибежал. Ты тут откуда? Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй-яй, больно же. Он, видимо, снизу прибежал, или что, или откуда? Окей. Эта обилка не требует крови, я так понимаю. А можно? Сейчас, секунду. Сорян, ложная тревога. Показалось. Что? Все вместе, да, нечестно нападать. На одного несчастного кровопиюшку. Блин, вот с таким пареньком ампутационный нож бы подошел как раз таки. Потому что его долго надо долбить, чтобы пробить. Что? Забудем.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Приятель Петреско. Нормальный такой райончик. Здравствуйте.
The wet boots will be proud of me.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
Do you know Nurse?
Never heard of her.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
Medication and drugs are a rare commodity in East London. So you picked an easy target, didn't you?
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could...
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
Free? You may soon find out that you have simply traded one set of shackles for another.
You're all fancy words. None of...
Да. Весь такой брутальный.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling tired these days.
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
Very funny.
Goodbye, young man.
The Wet Boots will be proud of me.
Drugs from the sick and suffering.
Видимо, этому пареньку тоже нужны лекарства от переутомления.
What?
Shooting a boy in the middle of a street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Do you know...
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is
А
where
вот
I
Вау
used
ушел
to
или
live.
просто
This is
снова
where I
молчит?
live now.
Мне больше нравится, что когда кровь пьешь,
You don't have
они
anywhere to
стоят
go.
и ничего не делают, чтобы
No family.
Well, since the death of my wife, Albert's mother, she was sick, you see. Look,
You mean you used to have a better life?
yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job.
Perhaps...
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's cut.
Whatever...
I swear I didn't want to eat.
What...
The doctors called me a liar.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've...
Not ashamed. I just need my pill.
A gun?
Все очень плохо, если человек с контузией носит
How are
пушку.
you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right?
Да, спать ушел. Тогда спокойной ночи, Платвей, если вдруг он будет смотреть запись.
Goodbye, young man.
Me? I'll not die in
Erlai
some
сдержится
stinking
до
alley reeking
последнего.
worse than a week-old lavvy.
О, крыски.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Ты бы предпочел убивать людей, конечно.
This is despicable.
long as you have the money.
Это контуженный? С этого переулочка, да?
Me? I'll not die in some piss.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. I'm
Хорошо
interested
выглядит для
in a
этого
miraculous
райончика.
cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic.
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really?
Ну, в смысле, что...
Why didn't I hear
многие
about it
уже
during
ушли
my
спать,
studies?
чтобы утром
I'm
вставать
Jonathan
пораньше.
Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me,
Reed,
what
most
is...
I don't like to talk about competition.
competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
I'd like to see what kind...
Возьмем на изучение. Смотрите, кстати, зря я у нее покупаю. У нее дороже. На 3 копейки штука
The
дороже.
Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all
Коза.
your problems. As long as you have the money.
Я думала, тут цены фиксированные, а тут, вон, смотрите, какая спекулянша.
Its effectiveness has been proven
Цветок
by many.
нафигачила себе и,
Even the
понимаете ли,
flu is
сидит.
no match for the Swanborough cordial.
Угу. Это дорога в Вест-Энд. Етить. Самый отдаленный район.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Опа, стрим. Привет, Лиза. Наконец, поток стрим. Как дела? Рассказывай, что нового, пока я тебе не донатил XD и удачного стрима. Во мне кефирчик с Максом.
Спасибо огромное, Дираскин, за 150 рублей. Что нового? Вот, прошли Детройт. Играем в Vampyr теперь. Поток. Поток идет целый день, но так себе. Но пока что стабилизировалось. Да? Вроде как чатик. Сейчас, кстати, стоит проверить. Вроде дропов нет. Ну, хотя как, есть, но меньше процента. Еп. Кстати, Эролайз очень-очень похожие мысли. Он really кого-то напоминает. Может, актера какого-нибудь, который, собственно, дал свое... Отдал свое лицо.
I will return later.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby.
Главное
Is he still
полностью
asking
называть
questions?
имена. Если вы прячетесь
Yes.
и не
I
хотите
saw him
наводок,
drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
то нужно обязательно полностью произносить имена. И сейчас
I
мы
must
такие
talk to that
тук-тук-тук.
journalist or the poet. They must know about
Мы
Darius.
приятели того-то,
Nearby the
того-то,
church
того-то,
they just
того-то.
mentioned.
Племянники этого, сыновья того.
The Swanborough cordial can be the
Спасибо,
answer to all your problems.
спасибо большое. Мне
As long as you
чаек
have the money.
принесли. А песенку спеть?
Тили-тили.
Не, Липтон, чай.
When science fails you, this
Пей
elixir will give you faith
за
again.
чай.
Без остановки. Напитки черноголовки.
Руки
Its
холодные.
effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu
Смотри, кстати,
is no
какая
match for the
спекулянтка.
Swanborough
Лису,
cordial.
понимаете ли, на шею повесила, подсолнух воткнула и продает. Печень на 3 копейки дороже.
Ну, так вот.
Ну, точнее, это не печень, я сейчас скажу,
Good
что
evening.
это. Может, она знает? Нет? Этих ребят.
I'd like to see what comes.
Это перманганат калия. Но он очень похож на печень внешне.
When science fails you, this elixir.
Окей, нам можно по проулку, ну, вдоль по улице и направо. Когда я успела понаставить этих меток? Что это за метки? Когда просто, видимо, карту открывала, накликала. О, трупик. И ворота. Ворота в другой район, походу. Значит, что, вдоль по этой улице? В смысле, новый Blood Rain разрабатывают? Или о чем речь? Ядри, живчик. Живчик, это круто. Зачем нам на один проволок раньше надо было свернуть? Вот сюда нам.
Sort it out, right? It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another. Please, Joe. How long? Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free.
Oh shit.
I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Хорошая женщина, согласитесь. Пока всякие вот тут спекулируют, она осматривает бедных и раздает им бесплатно лекарства. Конечно, скорее всего, лекарства она покупает на деньги шантажа и воровства в больнице. Но посыл у нее благие.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions
Так
for
вы
you.
что тут
Another
в слова
journalist?
играете?
I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really?
На Д.
But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Стоп. Дамаск. Да? Есть же город Дамаск? Просто есть ткань. Но эта же ткань названа в честь города. Да? Нет?
Have you heard of...
Dorothy Crane.
Could you please tell me more about...
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
May I ask?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even...
According...
Not familiar...
This part of...
Totally.
How did you become the local bully ever?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson. Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
И что я делаю в его доме? Я присмотрю за тобой, мальчик. Не переживай. Ключи от сейфа. Это вот... Я поговорю с тобой, да. Не переживай. Сейчас мне нужно просто осмотреться. Профессиональные охотники на вампиров?
It's locked, all right.
Заперто. Податься в банду — это, конечно, очень нехорошо. Очень нехорошо. Входить в чужие дома и собирать там все это.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not...
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man.
Why should I?
I'm sure your father did his best when he found this house. Times are tough for everyone.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry?
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever come.
But you are not responsible.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worried.
Have you tried speaking to Mr.
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone.
Do you know?
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very...
Goodbye, young man.
Переутомление. Он хороший. Давайте дадим ему лекарство.
Do you need any med?
Yes, I do. I feel...
You'll feel better with this. But you...
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a world like this.
Goodbye, young...
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
You never...
Хотя, возможно, и ты.
Joe Peterson. He's...
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice.
What can you tell me about...
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer. Good one, even.
Но после смерти жены сломался.
It's never easy to find a new path in life. Especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is so...
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most...
And no one had...
Nobody would be fool enough to stand...
What do you know of Harry Peterson?
Harry's a good boy, but he spends most of his time complaining. He's had it tough, all right, buddy.
What troubles him exactly?
But despite being his father's son, almost everything, I think. He never wanted to come to Whitechapel in the first place. Hates this place more than most of us.
В принципе, все.
Goodbye for now.
You again?
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Do you have any regret?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Спокойной ночи, плотва. Уганда. Уганда это не город, Уганда это страна.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
Нет, пони, пишите только про меня. Только про
I'd hunt the
меня.
bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Goodbye.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not
О, у него
apologize, my
крестик
son.
неправильный, смотрите.
Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Либеральные, говорит, эти идеи о медсестрах. Вот это вот женщины в медицине, в науке. Господи, слава богу, врачами их не делают.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients.
Только
It's
монахи.
obvious only they have the necessary
И только
moral fiber.
молитвами. Чему помогать? Чему? Чему помогать? Сережка, помогай!
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Блин, а я пожелала Платве спокойной ночи, а то этот цветоша выбил меня. Из колеи
What do you
мысли.
mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the
Город на
Armageddon
К.
about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Краснодар, Калининград, Киров, Кемерово. О, кстати, да. Снова на К, да? А только, только, так сказать, отечественный продукт? Потому что есть такой... Погодите, Куала-Лумпур. Нет, это страна. Столица Куала-Лумпура. Чатик, знаете, нет? Караганда, опять-таки, да, в Казахстане. Давайте послушаем
I
его.
suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the
Кыш
heart
ты!
of men.
Кстати, вот.
With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
От. Ответ служителя церкви.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Fire is just the instinctive answer of a caveman facing something he does not understand. This is the 20th century.
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his
Чадик, между прочим,
fraudulent
пока вы
redemption,
планируете
more and more
играть
people
в города,
die in
тут
the streets.
священник хочет Лондон сжечь.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists
Quite
well, you
Точно, точно, точно.
as a,
What?
the beast.
I have...
Хотя нет,
Good
подождите.
evening.
Is
Have you any...
no. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
Спокойной ночи, удачи на экзамене. Я надеюсь, экзамен не по географии, а то как бы заодно и подтянули. У кого инет? У Сандиса? Или у меня опять? Потому что, когда говорят сегодня за инет, мне становится немножко страшно.
I have heard enough.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on.
Почему
People
Бухарик
shouldn't be
злодей?
demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
If no one stops it, this epidemic could turn into a scourge. It may kill more people than the war itself.
Yes, this is another kind of war, but just as deadly. History will judge us all for what we did and what we did not.
Have you...
I've had to run. I'll remember to stay away from the...
What is a journalist?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go.
So you...
Whitechapel is the crucible of so...
That's quite...
Not at all.
I heard you...
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really...
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to him.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby.
Небольшой букет, в котором спрятан купон на бесплатный медосмотр.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying.
Она немая.
Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Melia, I know you
Кого
work
надо
for
сжечь?
Dorothy.
Камелию или церковь?
Please tell me about her secret dispensary.
Нет, надо не церковь сжечь. Это служитель церкви предлагает
A
сжечь.
stubborn and mute
Всё.
comrade. Nurse
В смысле,
Crane
говорит,
and Darius
Лондон
Peterson.
очистится карающим огнем. Господь своих узнает. Ну, в смысле, после смерти они попадут в рай.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Ага. Дариус пишет детям, но пишет по-хитрому.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Вместо того, чтобы закинуть их в почтовый ящик, он их выкидывает, и, видимо, потом камелия, которая разносит всякое Разносит всякое, звучит опять-таки не очень, да? Которая... Купоны разносит. Подбирает эти письма и, возможно, отправляет. То есть вообще ноль палова.
It's locked.
Про двор. Так вроде и так на карте видно. Зеленый двор вокруг церкви. Вот вход, вот тут закрыто ворота. Соответственно, наверное, вот тут тоже ворота. Потому что здесь никак и нигде не пройти. Anyway, спасибо. А Плотва откуда знает? Она играла в Вампyrу? Или Плотва и есть Вампyrу? Так, у меня же стоит не пистолет, нормально. Это труп или... Ядрить, материализация! Шифтанулась от тебя. Надо шифтануться. Надо шифтануться, как пели Рик и Морти. Голова довольна. Да мало ли, пробежала по кустам, вдруг там что-то было. Что нельзя громко? А, ютубчик, в смысле, не разрешает музычку. Мы уже Киркорова слушали, поэтому...
Some of us come to this world already touched by fires.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
May I ask what you're doing?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
But are you not?
Oh, why should I?
Are you aware?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
If some...
Well, you, for a start, my dear... I don't care.
What terrible you... What are you talking...
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Интересная точка зрения.
My mother loved poetry. Perhaps your words would have touched her.
Вообще-то я сказала совершенно другое. Типа, поверьте диалога,
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott.
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to...
Do you... What can you...
Not much.
And have you...
Maybe I...
In what this... If you such vivid...
Oh, yes? On the... What? Not much.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out...
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me.
Did you know the mute florist?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
I fear you are a...
Guilt!
Are you...
That girl...
May I...
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love...
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'll leave you alone. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
А, кстати, ворот с этой стороны. Ой, пару надгробий сломала. Вот что значит бэк вампира.
Hello again, miss. Tell me about Richard.
Когда ты требуешь у него и рассказать тебе что-то. Окей. Мне кажется, или у меня квест залагал? Он не продвигается.
Don't be shy, handsome.
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Кристина Попа. Проститутка.
Christina, have you...
I don't like doctor.
You can put your own life in danger. That's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Considering your line of work, I assure you, it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen.
Спасибо, Диан.
Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Are you talking?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am...
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
I'm sure you could have found another job. Perhaps less lucrative. Maybe you should try again.
And when exactly was the last time you looked for a job? Or worried about the rent, or what, or when you were going to eat?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Goodbye, miss.
У меня есть лекарство?
Good evening, Chris.
Change.
Do you need any assistance?
It
Когда даешь
I am shocked. You would
проститутке
think I am
лекарство
that
от
sort of man.
усталости.
Forgive my suspicion. I'm so used to liars with good manners. Thank you, sir.
Goodbye.
Что они тут все нифига не больные, а просто тупо усталые.
Cheap price, good quality.
В самой игре квест продолжается, а в окне.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see, Dorothea. Don't make me regret this, though.
Блин, Релайз. Я последнее лекарство от усталости отдала той проститутке. Прости меня. Древний 2010. Привет. О, господин Петреску, спасибо, что пустили меня в свой чудный дом. О, щит.
It's locked.
Господин Петреску, как открыть ваш сейф? Что это? Это деньги, господин Петреску. Спасибо вам огромное. Какой вы хороший человек. И у вас бронхит. Господин Петреску, не переживайте, у меня есть лекарство от бронхита.
We've not been formally...
Но перед этим я вас расспрошу.
I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against...
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
It is not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. And I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
So Dorothy's real...
Like myself and many...
She seems...
More...
Tell me...
I do not believe...
Who...
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's a...
You say she has no...
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good...
Are you not...
She is as brave as she is...
Are you in love with Camellia?
Don't be stupid.
Tell me
I do not believe...
Do you need some...
I am very...
Well...
Free drugs from an English doctor. It must be my lucky day.
Goodbye, Mr.
Потом окажется, что Камелия вампирша. Сейчас, секунду, чатик. почитала я тут заодно чатик, пока кусок еды в себя закидывала. Тут не стоит забывать еще о том факте, что все-таки тот же Ведьмак имеет фэнтезийный сеттинг, да, в Неверленде. В то время как здесь абсолютно реальный мир с абсолютно реальными историческими событиями 1918 года. Упоминаются реальные исторические личности, типа медсестры Найтингейл или поэта Шарля Бадлера. Из-за этого, в принципе, ясно, что атмосфера будет другой. Блин, надо было сначала письмо по Петреску кликнуть.
I need help.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Raz Van Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel. Hand me that scalpel.
What can I do, Doctor?
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see.
Фигово, короче, хирург из вампира. Что мы можем сказать?
I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
A dose of epinephrine, now.
Yes, Doctor. We've lost the pulse.
Интересно, кстати, можно этого пациента как-либо
He's gone,
спасти?
Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the
У меня
continent.
вопрос, а она бы что сделала, что сейчас нас обвиняет?
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
Или нам нужна была эта операция просто для того, чтобы вот И мы потом взяли образец крови.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners.
It's locked, all right.
To what do I owe this courtesy?
Давайте проверим, все ли мы прочитали и учли. Так, образец крови. Письмо. У нее есть сестра.
This is an unfitting place for the illustrious. I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
Да, другое сказала.
I've come to put an end to this insufferable blackmailing, Dorothy.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty, nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
На самом деле, я дошла до этого момента, ровно до этого момента, когда играла ночью. И я выбрала загипнотизировать. Думая, что это как бы самый хороший вариант. Она типа тупо забудет о шантаже, о леди Эшбери. Эшери. Ну, вы поняли. Все оказалось не так. Мне написали, что состояние района ухудшилось, столб пропал без вести, все дела. Я типа такая, что? Нет, я выбрала самый безопасный путь, стереть ей память. А такое чувство, видимо, что я стерла всю память, и она потерялась.
No. Your place is here. Jailing you would be an even greater crime. So, here is my proposition. I'll look the other way on your little enterprise. In exchange, you will resign from the Pembroke Hospital and provide me with medical supplies when the need arises.
Dr. Reed! That sounds like a business proposition. My accomplice, then?
No, just a privileged client. My research may require the occasional rare piece of equipment or ingredient. I'll pay good coin in exchange, Fair and honest, to help finance your noble endeavors.
We have ourselves a deal, Doctor. Good customers are always welcome.
Yes, Nurse Crane. We have a deal.
Стоп, и тут район страдает в результате моих действий. Она типа снова пропадет? Нет, она на месте. Если ее загипнотизировать, у нее появится статус пропала без вести. Просто эти ребята, anyway, приходят и всех убивают. Считай... Ну, повторюсь, по крайней мере, у нее нет статуса, что она пропала без вести. Окей. I am respectable businessman. Да иди ты!
Filthy piece of shit! It ain't you! Kill it!
Ах ты ж собака! Дариус Петреску здоров тем временем. Вообще не говорите. Не дают спокойно жить. А почему, чтобы я не делал, районы страдают? Почему? Я хочу быть хорошей. Я пока даже не искала кровушку, не пила. Ну, за исключением охотников. Блин, надо было, кстати, я не подумала, надо было через Петреску идти. Может, он мне что-нибудь скажет после того, как мы с сестрой Крейни поговорили.
Hello, Dr. Reed. Come on in. Yes?
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nethercott's previous works, Darius?
Yes. His manuscript is as pompous as he is starched. Now there's a man who loves the sound of his own voice.
You could have told him so.
As a great writer recently said, politeness is the most acceptable hypocrisy.
Tell me
I do not believe in...
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Ну, по крайней мере, у меня задание внутри меню отображается корректно. Страдает мигренью. Выполнено. Окей. А где это? Ладно. Выполнено. Нож клея кокса. Угу. Добраться до аптеки. А где аптека у нас? А я могу несколько поставить на отслеживание? Нет. Ну, давайте глянем. Нет, это шантаж. Ядрить она далеко. Надо в порт идти. Угу. Угу. В порту нет расследований. Может, это находится ближе? Да. Это находится ближе. Прямо сейчас налево, потом направо. Я не очень понимаю, почему они у меня не отслеживаются. Ну, в смысле, уровень и прочее. Вот, пошло. 8-12. Он спиной же стоит? Нет, передом. Ну так иди сюда. Ну то с вами